Children need to feel safe in their physical environment and with the adults in that environment. Adults are very big, and even from a young age, children can understand how powerful adults can be. So let's look at building trust through this lens, through the child being vulnerable upon first meeting us. Studies have shown that children who have trusting relationships with adults at school tend to have higher achievement. And this makes sense because it's easier to take educational risks or try new things when you feel secure and safe in the environment. Children with these kind of relationships also want to be at school because they feel valued and accepted. And isn't that what we want? Children to want to be with us at school. Building trust begins with the very first interaction with the child. And you're going to hear me say some things that you already know, but bringing them to your awareness helps us to see how important and what an impact they can make in the construction of that trusting relationship between you and the child. Now let's start with kindness. Your greeting to the child should be warm and genuine. It does not have to be over the top. Smile, because that's friendly and kind. Make eye contact with the child if that's culturally appropriate. Never, ever force a child to make eye contact with you. Use the child's name, because when we hear our name being used, we feel important. So an example of this would be, "Good morning, Sam. I'm really glad you're here with me today." Next component in building trust is compassion. We all need comfort when we're upset, and we're going to see a lot of tears at the very beginning of the school year. Don't let a child cry without offering some level of support. This could be a tissue or offer a glass of water. The child may accept these things or not, but that's not what's important. What's important is that you are showing the child love and compassion in a time of stress. We can also help the child know that we understand how they feel, because we can tell them, "I see that you're upset. Is there anything I can do to help?" This lets the child know that you do understand and that you are there for them. Help a child up when they fall. They're probably going to fall because they were running when they weren't supposed to. We all make mistakes. And that fall had a very natural and very clear consequence for the child. Help them up, and help them up without reprimand. We can give them a lesson in compassion this way. Another element in building trust is consistency. Do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. If you promise a child you'll read them a story after lunch, you need to sit down and read that story with them after lunch. If you don't, then you are breaking the trust of the child. They're relying on you to follow your word. Your expectations in the classroom also have to be clear, and they have to be consistent. When they're consistent, this removes unpredictability from the environment and fosters a sense of trust and safety. Your consistency also is supporting the child to make good choices in the environment. Last is respect. Always watch your words. Never talk about a child when another child is present. Be mindful of sarcasm. Children in the first plane don't understand it, and it can come off like a put down. Model respect for all children in all situations, as well as all adults. They're watching us, and they're not just watching how we're interacting with everyone, they're absorbing it. So we're not just building trust, we're also building relationships. Please become a student of every child. Get to know their likes and dislikes, their strengths and their weaknesses. Connect with them by finding things that you have in common. Play with them on the playground, throw a ball, swing on the swings, laugh, be human with them. Join a group for some group work. You don't have to interact necessarily, but just be close and interested. You can share relevant, appropriate stories about your life. Maybe something you saw on the way to work or something funny your pet did at home. The child gets to know you this way, helps build a relationship, but they are also going to share things that are happening in their home with you. And you have the opportunity to listen and please ask questions. Your questions are showing the child that you're interested and that you want to know more. And last, be friendly with error. Allow the child to make mistakes and not feel bad about it. Our mistakes are where very powerful learning occurs, and we need to honor each child in that we do make mistakes, children and adults alike. I want to talk for a second about being mindful. It only takes a moment to break the trust of a child and a very, very long time to build it back up. Children can sense or feel when they're disliked, and frankly, you're going to have some challenging children in your classroom. And it's those children that are going to take your extra effort to get to know, to understand their strengths, find things you have in common with them. Create opportunities for positive interactions every single day. Be mindful of checking your baggage at the door. Don't bring in bad feelings if you had a hard day coming into work. When I had difficulties, being in the classroom was the best place for me to be, sharing in the energy and the love of the children. It will help significantly. Be mindful of your attendance. You need to be at school every day and on time. You are a constant part of that environment, and the child needs that to build trust not only with you, but with the environment. And lastly, be mindful to honor each child and where they're at. Honor them where they're at in their development and where they're at in their academics. You may feel like a child is behind, but they're exactly where they need to be at that moment. We offer a method of education that's individualized, and it's not just numbers and letters. It's social and emotional too. There are so many ways that we can enrich the lives and the experiences of the children, but they have to trust us to do so.